Hey everyone, how you doing? It's your girl Maames here again, and I'm gonna jump straight into it. So I'm using my Benefit Groove Proof Brow in number 5, and I'm using that to do my brows. Once that is done, I'm gonna grab my MAC Paint Pot in Groundwork. I'm applying this using the E260 brush from Evita Joseph. To set the primer, I'm gonna use this highlighter from the Classic Makeup USA Face Designer Kit. Brush I'm using is one from Morphe, but I don't remember the name, but you can go ahead and use any fluffy eye brush. Okay, so I don't like to go crazy with the brow bone area, excessive highlighting. I'm going to use the E256 Evita Joseph brush and just lightly dust a bit of highlighter on my brow bone. Still using the Classic Makeup Kit. Red Brick from MAC is going to be my transition shade, and I'm using the Morphe 332 brush for this. I'm going to pack it in and building up. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just going in circular motions in the outer crease, and I'm just packing the shadow into that area. So for this next step, I'm using a darker orange. I really don't remember the name of this palette, but if you have a darker orange, really all you're going to do is just add on to the lighter red brick. I want a bit more definition in the crease, so I've just gone in now and then reinforced the crease using a darker orange, and I'm using the G180 crease brush from Evita Joseph for this. Next, I'm going into my Morphe 35N palette, and I'm using the Evita Joseph E259 for this. So I'm using this brush because it's tapered, it's smaller, and it's less fluffier, which means I can get that darker shade to stay in the socket, in the crease where I want it. I don't really want it to overshadow the other lighter shades I put down, because I want the crease transition to go from dark, darker, darkest, and then it blends into the brow bone area. Right, so after you've put the eyeshadows down, ladies, make sure you're blending them out, man. Like, don't leave no harsh lines. You need to blend. So over here I'm just blending. I'm just using any fluffy blending brush, and I've just blended out everything I've put down. Still in the 35N Morphe palette, and I'm using the 259 brush from Evita Joseph to create still yet a little bit more definition and depth in the crease. I'm gonna let you jam to this tune a bit longer while I do the other eye. Again, you have to blend. Once you've laid it down, you need to blend that. So the next step is going to be using some shimmer on my lids, and I want it to stay. So I'm going to go in with this Yves Rocher Fixing Eyelid Primer, and it will just give the shimmer something to stick onto. So with my MAC 214 brush, I'm in the Morphe E35E palette, sorry, and I've just taken this rose gold. It's difficult to explain what shade it is, but it's yeah, I suppose it's a rose gold, maybe like a dark rose gold, and I'm using that. I've just covered like half of the lid. Well, not half of it, maybe half of the half. Oh gosh, what am I saying? So okay, I'm covering a third of my eyelids with this shade, and I'm gonna go in and use a lighter shade, still in the same tone, but the lighter version of the first one I laid down. I'm gonna use that in the inner corner, just so that it has a nice gradient. So we're getting there, we're getting there. We need to seal these eyes, and I'm gonna use my MAC 210 brush, which is a nice pointy liner brush, and I'm using the fluid line also from MAC, and I'm gonna give it a nice wing to these eyes. Next, I'm gonna pop some mascara on, and this one is from Color Care. It's the Stretch and Define mascara. And after that, I'm gonna pop on some falsies. Yeah, you know we gotta put on some falsies, don't ya? For my face foundation, I'm gonna mix these two shades, the L'Oreal True Match in C8 and the Matchmaster in 7.5. I'm applying this with the Morphe G3 brush, and this brush is really nice. It's really soft. It's just like really velvety on your skin. And talk about the foundation, man. Like L'Oreal has really stepped up. I mean, like the True Match is really nice. It's not so dewy, and it's not really matte. It's just a nice buildable foundation. Okay, so for my highlighting, I'm going to be using this beauty blender. I think it's from Evita Joseph, and I'm using LA Girl highlighter in concealer, sorry, in the shade Toffee. I like my highlighters really natural, so I don't really go overboard with it. To set all that concealer, I'm going to use the Benite Olive Sand and MAC NW45. And I'm using a brush from Revlon. For contouring, I'm using the MAC Studio Fix NW58, and I'm using the Evita Joseph G120 powder brush. I'm not a big fan of cream contours. I've always loved powder contouring. Even using some blushes, I use them for contouring. I just think they're easier to manage, easier to manipulate, and they look, you know, less caked on. So that's just me. It's just my cup of tea. For light shimmer highlighting, I like to use a Samoa blush in number 2, and I'm using the MAC 187 dual fiber brush, and this is perfect when you want to diffuse the product nicely across your cheeks. So for further contouring, I'm going to use the Film Noir from MAC and the brush 116. This gives it a bit more definition in terms of contouring. Still powder, like I said, I love my powder contours. So just to give my cheeks a bit of color, I'm going to use the Fever, which is a matte blush from MAC. And I think this is one of the best matte blushes for women of color. I think, I don't know, just in my opinion, I just feel like for women of color with different skin tones, from the darkest to like the lighter shade, Fever does beautifully. So anyway, I'm applying this blush with an Elizabeth Arden blush brush. For that extra glow, you can by all means skip the step, but me tonight, I need to glow. So I'm using my MAC Cheeky Bronze, and I'm just using my fingers. I just feel like the fingers diffuses the product nicely without giving it that over highlighted. I don't know, I just can't stand that, but it just really needs to look really nice and seamless. So I'm using my fingers, and I'm extending it to my Cupid's bow and just a little bit on my nose, nothing overboard. Yeah, get me. Also taking a little bit of that highlighter on a detailer brush and highlighting the inner corner of my eyes. For my eyes, I'm going to use this black and brick red on a 259 E259 Evita Joseph brush. I'm just going to run that along the bottom lash on the outer corner. And then with a fluffier blending brush, I'm going to just pick the brick red and just run it along the outer, just to diffuse the black out and to blend it all nicely into the inner corner of my eyes. Open up my eyes. I'm just going to use this Jumbo illuminator or highlighter. I'm running it along my water line. Next, I'm just using my Zoom Lash Mascara from MAC just on my bottom lashes. Next is just prepping my lips really, and I'm using the Nivea lip butter. I'm just going to blot off the excess on a tissue paper. For lipstick, I'm just using this Classic Makeup USA VIP, which is the shade of the lipstick, and it's a matte liquid lipstick. I must say that I do like it. It's a mix between like a dark chocolate and a berry. It's just like a really dark, rich chocolate. I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah. And the pigment is it's just fabulous. Like, it's just highly pigmented and it's beautiful. Right, let's not forget our MAC Fix Plus, huh? For the purposes of this video, I'm gonna put it in. However, I don't usually wear Fix Plus. I'd never really use Fix Plus on my makeup because I live in Africa, which is a tropical country, and the sun just does everything that the Fix Plus is gonna do. Once I put my makeup on, all I need to do is just wait for about 10 minutes. By the time I get to where I want to get to, the sun would have just brought out it would just nourish my skin, and my oils just come through, and it just mixes nicely with the makeup I have on. So yeah, I don't usually use Fix Plus, but hey ho, you know, just for the video. Oh my goodness, I just rhymed there. Hey ho, yo, for the video. Okay, alright, let me switch off. So anyway, that's me ready, and I'm just gonna head out to my networking night. I hope you enjoyed this video and you like it. If you did, please thumbs up and subscribe so that you do not miss any videos from me. Till later then, bye.